Vindaloo. Vin is for vinegar, aloe for garlic in Portuguese. And what Goans done it? They created a fantastic dish called Vindaloo with the chilies they brought from South America. So we embrace the chilies and especially all the peppers and everything we had. The vinegar from the wine vinegar from Portugal. This amazing dish is sharp, citrusy, and like a really sour, tangy, sweet, and spicy flavors. It's incredible. So traditionally, it was used as preserve the pork. So pork vindaloo was a traditional dish, but as we moved on, we got people to chicken vindaloo and the lamb vindaloo and everything. So when you're doing a pork vindaloo, you will not use any oil whatsoever. You just use the fat, which consists of pork. Where but when you want to do a chicken vindaloo or lamb vindaloo, you have to change the procedure slightly, tweak it a little bit because it hasn't got so much fat. So chicken hasn't got so much fat, and if you add the same amount of vinegar and the chili and everything, it will overpower it. So to rectify that, what we're gonna do is in this chicken vindaloo, we're gonna fry the onions a little bit and then blend it. So welcome to CurryKingVinny. Today I'm gonna show you how to cook the chicken vindaloo in the Relish spice mix way. So I'm going to use the Relish spice mix vindaloo. This has all the spices you need. From the Kashmiri chili, we also used the Guntur chili, which is a slightly hotter side, and it's got cumin, it's got the mustard seeds, it's got cardamom, it's got clove and cinnamon, and it's got actually dry tamarind powder, which is a very rarely available. We try to add it all in one for you, so you don't have to have all the ingredients. If you don't have the tamarind, is what you're going to do, because we used dry tamarind powder, which is very rare to get. We got the coriander in it, cumin, all the spices you need in a vindaloo, everything mixed in the right balance. So but to that, what we're going to do is we also have some Kashmiri chili and the red chili, which is soaked in the warm water. So this is the Guntur chili. We're going to make the vindaloo nice and hot. This is the Kashmiri chili, which gives a really beautiful red color and flavor. So to start with, actually, I'm going to take about a couple of tablespoons of oil. As I said, if it was for pork, you will not need the oil. You just want the pork to be marinated for at least 4 hours with the salt and vinegar and the rest of the paste overnight as well, so it will taste brilliant. Yeah, so to that I've got 2 medium-sized onions, as you can see, just thinly sliced. That goes in first. I've got about 3, I think it's about 50 ml Goan vinegar, which is the coconut vinegar. If you can't get the coconut vinegar, you probably add about 75 ml of the malt vinegar, or you can use the white vinegar as well. But adding the malt vinegar, it adds a tiny bit of sweetness to it, or you can have half and half red wine vinegar and the synthetic vinegar. So you need to have the bit of sweetness as well to it. So the onions I'm going to just fry until it's succulent, and I'm going to blend it. So the reason I'm doing this is when you're cooking the pork, you cook it for slow cook for an hour and a half. So generally how the vindaloo was done is, if you want to have the vindaloo for a Sunday, you start off on Friday. So you bring the pork, you marinate the spices, leave it overnight. The next morning you start cooking, half cook it, leave it overnight. Sunday morning you cook it completely and eat it in the evening. So it's like a long procedure. The more you cook, the pork will release the fat, and it neutralizes the vinegar taste as well. So you want to get the balance. You don't want really sharp vinegary taste. The vinegar should calm down. So that's like a soothing taste of the Unani taste of the pork fat. That's what made the vindaloo such a special dish. So if anybody cooking vindaloo in 100 meters, you can smell in Goa. But if you're in England, probably you smell it for a mile. So the onions coming along nicely. If you want to cook the onions slightly faster, as the drill says, you can always add a pinch of salt. Yeah. And I like to cook on the gas hob because it's easier to control the heat, and when you don't want the heat on, you can just turn it off. Within seconds it'll bring the heat down. So I've got a Relish spice mix. So for about 2 portions of Relish Vindaloo spice mix, I'm just gonna take about a couple of teaspoons. I'm just adding some water which I soak the chilies in. The reason I do that, one, it doesn't burn. When you order the powder spices, it tend to burn, so it stops the burning, and soaking the spices always helps to cook the spices quicker. So now I'm going to add the Relish spice mix into this. Yeah, there you go. Just ooh, the flavor's awesome, absolutely amazing already. So since it's chicken, we want to make sure the spice is cooked, fried a little bit longer, because when you cook long cooking, if it's a pork vindaloo or lamb vindaloo, the spices have enough time to cook, where the chicken you don't want to overcook it. So that's why I'm just frying it. Now I'm gonna blend this with adding the Goan vinegar into the blender, and if I need it, I will add some water as well, which the water soaked with the chilies, I'm going to use that. There you go. Vinegar, just touch water, blend into a fine smooth paste. So we got the vindaloo paste really fine and smooth. That's enough for 3 portions today, and I also saved the water as well on site. And to that, so it's very, very simple. I'm going to add just 1 tablespoon of oil, few bay leaves, going to do 2, and half an onion shredded, and I'm going to add the vindaloo paste, add the chicken, cook it, and then add water and tamarind and salt for seasoning. That's all. So it's very, very simple. Let's get cooking. So just bring the pan to medium to high heat. Just add about 1 tablespoon of oil and add 2 bay leaves. So the Indian bay leaves are tiny, you can see, so I'm adding 4. So adding bay leaves gives like a bit of sharpness to it, to the curry. So it tells you when the oil is hot as well, whenever you add the dry spices. So there is a thing as well, the vindaloo is best served when you serve it with just the rice or the Goan bread. So like a nice pav, we call it. You dip the sauce in, and the vindaloo always tastes better the next day, the day after, the day after, and day after. So you can cook the vindaloo a large portion on Sunday, eat it on Wednesday, it's even better. Vindaloo is a dish which is stays in the fridge for a long time, and you can keep, if you don't have a fridge as well, you can just keep it room temperature, but just make sure you heat twice a day. It will stay absolutely gorgeous, and it will only get better as the time moves on. It's like an aged wine. Alright, so now the bay leaf is done. I'm just going to add the onions. So there is a thing as well, why I add the onions again, even though I added the onion before, to blend it. So generally the vindaloo, when we're doing any curries, when we blend to make the like a restaurant style curries, like a nice smooth base, so you want to have a bit of texture added to the curry. So that's the reason I like to, even though we add the onion before, blend it, but I like to add some more onions, which has a, when you're eating the curry, you have like, you're just not eating like a paste, spice paste, or the sauce out of the can, you add the meat to it. No, the curry should have the texture and the depth in it. That's why I'm adding some more onion. So we use a similar procedure for most of our curries. So the onions doesn't need to go brown, they just need to go succulent. As you can see, it's a very quick process when you're cooking on high heat. And now paste. Wow, look at the lava. And it's not only like lava, trust me, it will taste like lava as well. Look at all the lava bubbling. So what this does is, it helps to get rid of the really strong vinegary taste as quickly as possible on all the spices cooked quickly as well. So that way we don't have to cook this curry for too long. As you can see, the oil starts depositing on the side. That's when we want to make, that's telling us that the spices are cooked. So there is the moisture is becoming less and less. You can still taste the vinegary. This is the best bit. You don't want to burn the edges, but you want it to caramelize it. It adds great flavor to the dish. So now I'm going to add the chicken cubes. I'm using the thigh. As I said, it needs a little bit longer to cook, so you can use the breast chicken as well, but I would recommend if you use the thigh chicken or chicken on the bone. It adds so much flavor. As you can see, I'm just smother the paste to the chicken. It's still on high heat. All this thing, cooking chicken on high heat to start with helps to keep the chicken nice and tender for later on. When there is a question like when you should add the water when you're cooking chicken on high heat is so you have to keep stirring and folding it, and when you see pardon me, so when you see there is you don't see any rawness from outside the chicken, so it all looks like it's cooked from the outside, is still not cooked. So that's when you're going to add the water. So here I had cleaned the blender, so I saved the water. My mom always said that never waste food, and you will never stay hungry in your life. Oh, look where he got me. I'm a restaurateur, always have food, doesn't matter what time of the night. Even 3 o'clock in the morning, if I'm hungry, I can ask one of our boys. They will get us some food. Yeah, I'm just gonna add a little bit of water for the consistency, because I want to cook this chicken 10 minutes on medium to high heat, and I will keep stirring every now and again to get it. So you can just check for the seasoning a little bit later for the salt. So I'm just gonna wait till the chicken is cooked, so you don't want to taste when the chicken is still raw. So there you go. The vindaloo as well, the consistency, it's up to you. If you're having it with rice, I recommend to leave it slightly thinner. There you go, as it is. And if you want to have it with the bread or the Bombay potato soup, you can make it nice and thick. To that, I'm just going to add about half a teaspoon of salt. Yeah, there you go. And the jaggery. So what jaggery does is, say there is a chili, the seeds and the bay leaf and the garam masala has the seeds tend to turn bitter in the curry as well. The jaggery neutralizes the bitterness. So just add the jaggery and the salt, just give it a stir. As you can see, the measurement, I've not added all the jaggery. It's always easier to add on than take it out. So we can always add on, but we can't take it out. What I'm looking is, it should be right salt to the vinegar, it should be the right chili, and the touch of sweetness. It's not a sweet curry. The main ingredient is vinegar and the chili and the garlicky taste. So yeah, it's actually, to be honest, it's not red hot. It's very nice, but I just need a pinch of salt. As you can see, always keep scraping this back into the sauce. It will add the deliciousness to the curry, and that should be it. You just needed just a touch of salt. I'm not going to use the rest of the jaggery. And look at that, the chicken is cooked, the sauce is nice, perfect. So there you go, the chicken vindaloo relish spice mixed up. So if you want to order the relish spice mix, visit our website CurryKingVinny.co.uk. It will have the recipe, and also we'll have the link for this video, so you can follow us